Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to bring you a vintage envelope for you, sort of quite quick and easy. So these are my prototypes that I've made. So I've done some with designer series paper and some with book pages. So just a simple little envelope, added a stamp, added a little bit of coffee paper to the inside, and it just tucks in there. And then this one is very similar, different paper, just quite a nice quick easy project. And I have used a die to make this, is why you get that nice little, it's stitched as well on the edge there. Used the offcut from here to make me little tuck. So that's quite cute. But they're quite nice to just tuck in your journals. This one, I didn't decorate the back of it because I thought with this one I could glue it on 3 sides and that would be a nice pocket on a page, and you could stick a tag in like so. So this is done with a book page, and as before, just a little bit of journaling in there. So that is what we're going to make today. So and what I used to make this is this pillow box die. So this is called Pretty Pillow Box Dies. So you can make a pillow box with it. I thought, looking around, I was sure I had one made to show you. Oh, I do. I was just hiding. So it does make quite a nice little box like that, which is quite handy. And it is, I think it's just 3/4 of an inch deep. So in the UK, if you made somebody something like this, this would still go large letter, because large letter is an inch. So I do send these out to customers with little, fits a Freddo frog, fix those little dreamies, the little fun size bars. You get those from Aldi, but any fun size bar I imagine would fit in there. I have used them previously, and I have a video. I have used them to make little mini journals as well. So quite versatile. So I say I do have a video on doing this. So I just like to not have things as one-trick ponies. I like to do other things with them. So I thought I'd do 2 versions today. So I've got I'm using up some scraps of paper that will be retiring very soon. You only need your paper to go to the end here. Don't need this little bit. So it is, I've forgotten already because I'm useless, 3.5. So we only need it to be 3.5 inches wide, and you need it about 6 inches deep. So cut that off there at 3.5 inches. And that is, that will then, if I have that on the outside and that on the inside, then that will fit on your die like so. So the edges go to the edges. Now I thought I'd do one with a bit of book page as well. So I thought, why don't I make an Edith Holden? I haven't done an Edith Holden thing for a long time. So I've just thought about that without even any thought of, do I have a sheet handy? Because that's just how I roll. Let's turn the camera on and let's get started. So could do that, because that kind of doesn't really matter where it is. Quite like the script on the inside, kind of looking up to the light, what that would look like. It's not bad. I think it needs to be a bit busier, Jez, actually. Oh, what about this one? Nice bit of big leaf on there. Oh, that's a double-sided one. Right, we could be some time choosing. So let me choose. Okay, so made my decision. I quite like that bit down there. So if I cut that to 3.5 inches wide. Will I get 2 out of that? Yeah, I could. I really could. So then cut that down to 6. Let's see what 2 looks like. Keep those scraps for something else. So I just wanted to show you what it might look like depending on what you use. So I'm going to get that cut out, and then what I got to think about, I thought it might be quite nice to have that on the flap. So it's upside down, but when that flaps over, it'll be the right way up, and then that coming up for the bottom. So we're going to cut that way, and then that'd be upside down, so we'll have to do that again that way. That will have that as the flap, which I might decorate further. And that's the turn up. Or I could have just beautiful script on the outside, and then when you open it up in the middle, no, that's upside down. Right, so we'll do both of those like so. So I'm going to get them cut out. So that's them all done. So you get this little cut out bit, which is what I used for the little catch. So I'm just going to move those out to one side for the moment, and the little scraps, because you never know. So it's got the school lines in it ready for folding, and you have got a little faint school lines there for if you were making it into the pillow box, but it doesn't matter. And what you're going to have to do is trim that bit off just ever so slightly so that it folds nicely for the pocket. So that common ivy there, got a friend called Ivy, don't think she'd like to be referred to as common. There, that's worked out really well. I do like the fact that you can see some stitching, and you can, there's some decorative edges. You can cut out these decorative edges as well if you wanted to. I may or may not do that. So that's that. Actually might look quite nice on that one because it's quite plain on that bit. So I'm just going to take a little smidge off these ends so that now that will fold over. That one's got a little bit of a rough side because that was where the page was torn, but it's junk journal, so I'm not bothered. Not bothered at all about that. There we go. Where's my other one? There we are. So that's all ready. And then obviously, because it's me, I'm going to ink. So I'm going to get this in here for inking. I'm going to use soft suede, which I can't see right now. I've had it out to use, but I don't appear to, you know, it's there. It was right beside me and I even looked at it but I thought, oh, that's early espresso, but it's not, it's soft suede. So soft suede's a lovely match for this, the colour of the script here. So I really like it. So just going all around. Might speed this up, it's a bit boring, isn't it? So that's them all inked around the edges, and so I'm going to use my blending brush and I'm going to ink a little bit more just to make it look a little bit older. Of course, if you're not as me, if you're not as obsessed with making everything look old and vintage, you could leave this as a nice bright fresh envelope. Journals don't have to be vintage, that's just the style that I choose to do. But yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't have a brighter one and not do all this inking, but I like it. So I do like to just do a little bit over the Edith Holden. It's just sometimes feel it's a little bit yellow. So I'll just go over a little tad with this, and then we're sort of ready to decorate. There we go. So that's that bit already, and then it's just a matter of a simple bead of glue. So I'm using Tombow. Use whichever is your favourite glue. Just down a little bead down the side. Tombow is a nice strong glue, so it will hold that in place quite nicely. It's quick drying, so it's perfect for a video. I wouldn't use tape when making a pocket like this because whatever you put in it might stick. So that's why I'd always use a wet glue on pockets. I think the first sort of mini album I ever made, I used tape all the way through it and all the tags stuck. So I learnt my lesson early on, and I've never made that mistake again. This is a dry baby wipe, in case you didn't know. So just get them all thoroughly done. So that's the basic construction of the envelope. Now you could close this in many ways. You could put the little round circles and use a bit of string, as I've done on the journal. You could do that and then just wind a bit of string round if you wanted to. But I just wanted to do a simple tuck in, and I quite like no waste. So these are the bits that came off, and they can do as a little closure down there. So I just give this a little bit of a snip off. If you just sort of follow that line, and it'll just go off like that. So just follow that line up. Do it with these as well. Looks a little bit like a tab as well, you know, on a file folder. So I quite like that. So I've got one that's got a bit of leaf on one that's a little bit more. Yeah, I think that one needs a little bit of decoration because that's just got words there, although I will add to it. So these, of course, need inking up as well. So I'll just get these inked. So they're now all ready. And what I did on this one was I put a little bit of doily underneath because I thought that looked really nice. So we've got some doilies in the catalogue. Heart and Home doilies, you get 30 in a packet. Can't remember how much they cost. £7.50 rings a bell. Could be wrong. Can't really remember. So I think I might go there with that colour on that one. Quite like that. So I'm just going to cut that corner off there. Stick that on. And I can stick that under there. Yep, that works. Right, now on these, I could use this colour, or you can always use the back and then you can make it any colour you want. So I might stick with that. So about have it about 3. Yeah. So we go across there. And then across there for that one. I might use that bit for something else. So, and what I might do with this is colour over with, it's stuck down there a little bit because where I glued it. A little bit of soft suede. I do have my favourite encircled in beauty dies, which I often use to make doilies as well. Oh, I forgot about that. That makes such a nice pattern. Let's put a bit of that on there. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So we're colouring the doily and we're giving a nice little pattern there. Love it. Do a bit on here as well. Yeah, yep, that's so cute. Works really well. So that's going to go, oh no, I'm going to put that one on here, aren't I? So that'll go under there. See, soft suede, such a good match for the writing and the feel of Edith Holden. Yep, that's going to be cool. So do the same with this one. There we go, and then it's just a matter of sticking these to the under bit of that. I'm going to snip that little end off. So just put some glue along here. Doesn't have to be perfectly even. Now you can see what I'm doing. So then I'm sort of hooking those curved bits there over, and then that's how it's gluing down. It is a tad long. I might just snip a bit of this off. Is that a better size? Could do with being up just a tad more, actually. Before I ink it, I'm going to test that out, but I think that will be perfect. Yeah, we're just sweeping the bottom there. I am going to take a smidge more. Just a smidge. There we go. Don't know if smidge is Hull or Yorkshire or if it's used in other places, but I don't remember saying it before I moved to Yorkshire. There we go. So that's going to be on there. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the side. And then we're going around. And then we can come along here. It is only the little tip that's being glued in. So where's my little spreader? There it is. Spread that a little bit. So then I can hook that under there, get it even, and then that will now stick down. Is the little flap there to hold our envelope down in a nice sort of decorative manner. So I'm going to do the others in exactly the same way. So they're all done. So now let's do a little bit of decoration. So I had this little bit that was left over. So I've mounted, so the Ranunculus Romance, I love it for lots of, well, mainly these three bits. Great for chunk journaling. I do like the border and I use that on this. Up there and up there. And I use this for the fake address and the postmark on the fake stamp. So I'll be doing that. So I thought I'd do this label on this little bit here that's been left over. I thought that might look quite good. So I'm going to stamp it up there and then just snip it. There is a die to go with it, but for this little rectangle I never see the point. It's just as quick and easy to, she says, to snip it. And give that a bit more of a inky round, and that could just go on the back there like a little label. These ones I might get some early espresso. I do actually think that one should be a bit darker, and I might just stamp that directly on it. I think that works. On there like that. I could add other things to the back. If we look at this one, I did decorate the flap with doily and stamp and things. and I decorated the underneath there. I used a different way of catching that on. This one, it was just stamping. I didn't do anything else. So I might just leave those. Less is more, as they say. That one, there's a bit of me that now thinks, I wonder if I can be clever and just stamp over it. Got my glasses on. Oh, cooking on gas. Looky here. Yeah. That did work a treat. So we'll stick that down. On there. Stands out a little bit better. Do prefer that. So let me just pick that up and stick it down. And then just let the paper be the decoration without adding any more. I mean, if I'm going to put this in a journal, I may well, depending on where it's going, I might add a little something to match if I'm putting it in a journal. So now we come to the other side. So what I did with this one and this one is I had a little postage stamp. So that's a real postage stamp. That one is a fake postage stamp. So quite like doing fake postage stamps. So we've got the rectangle postage stamp punch. And we have got this lovely Edith Holden paper there. Look, there's a little, that's a bit too big, that birdie, but that one's all right. So let's just do that. And then I'm going to feed that back in the corner there and in the corner there. And have myself a little postage stamp there. That's very cool. So liking that. What have we got in other places? So that was just perfect because it was small. I say there's a wee bird there, but he's quite big. Although I could take his head off. Do that, and then go back in that corner there. I did think when I first got this punch, I thought, oh, it's quite big, isn't it? But you can just resize it like so. That's quite cool. Just a little birdie peeking in the corner there of that stamp. Liking that. So now I want a stamp for this. So let's go back to these scraps I've got of this hand pen paper. And I did think this, I could just do like a pink side. But there's a smaller bit. That might be easier to handle if it wasn't stuck to that post-it note. So, oh, didn't go all the way down. Don't matter. And then we'll push that in the corner there. Give myself a little stamp there with that flower on. Because it's the same flowers in the paper. And that sort of matches, like it. So they just need a little bit of an ink around the edges. I do love my postage stamp punch. Love it, love it, love it. I did buy a smaller one, a square one that Stampin' Up made before, and I do have some stamps that go with it, but I do like just making stamps out of your paper, your book pages, whatever you got really. So that's cool. So they don't take long. Don't know how long I've been going. I'm watching the time, so I've got to go out. I've got to pick somebody up from the station. So I'm not sure if the clock in here is fast, slow, or the right time. I'm hoping it is at least the right time, if not slow. If it's fast, I might be a bit late. There we go, just a little bit of inking around there. That really did nothing, Jez. There we go. So I'm going to stick those down in place. Just stick that in the corner there. Make it look like a real letter. I'm hoping that's the right way out, yeah. Quick double check, yep. There we go. That's cool. And then in the same stamp set, we have this lovely postmark stamp, which I've got mounted. And we'll stamp that over each of these. Which is the finishing touch that all fake stamps need. There we go. And then I did a bit of a fake address, and I'm going to do that with early espresso again so it shows up. So all I did was I took my envelope and I just pushed down in the centre, so you didn't get a full impression. So it looks a little bit like somebody's written on that. There we go. And that is all I did really. You can add other things to the envelopes, but I think that that's quite cute as it is. And then the last thing you need to do is a bit of paper on the inside. So I've got some coffee dyed paper here. It's probably tea dyed paper, to be fair. And so I'm just going to trim that to fit. So what have we got here? With 3.5. So we go to 3, maybe 3.25. Go to 3.25, and then we're 2 inches that way. So we'll go to about 4. Obviously I'll do 3 of these, but I'll just do the one, fold it in half, and a bit of journaling space. You can always make a card. I could make a card that size, a journaling card, if you wanted to. And then I'm just gonna, I like to just finish, all sorts of rubbish coming on here because I've got stickiness on my fingers. So just a quick little, didn't do that one very well. Quick little round of the corner. I think it gives you a nice little look there if you do that. And then we'll just go around the edges so it looks like an old piece of paper, and you can have a little heading journaling spot for writing on. It'll probably take more than one bit of paper, so you could do a couple of sheets. You could do it as a little booklet. Sort of stapled together quite easily. So there we go, nice little bit of paper in there, and you've got a lovely little journaling spot there. Maybe 3.5 was a bit big. I think I did the other one slightly smaller. 3.5 is a bit big. Where's the other one? Just to finish off, to show it works. Yeah, I think I did it to 3 actually. There we go, that fits in there, and that's a nice little addition to a journal. So hope you like that. And you can of course make these by hand, but if you've got things like dies, if you're like me and you do other crafting, you might have a pillar box die with a nice little fancy end, and sort of give it a whirl. When you're using beautiful papers like this, it doesn't need very much else to add to the decoration. The paper's so pretty, does it itself. Okay, so I'll be back again next Wednesday with another junk journaling video, and I have been doing them on other days as well. I've been using my themes for blog hops and things. I've sort of like working them into vintage stuff quite nicely, because it is my happy place doing vintage. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll link down below to the products that I have used. All right then, thanks for joining me. Bye.